Welcome to Spectrum News at 4, coming to you live from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Tinubu reaffirms commitment to overhauling Nigeria's health sector. Federal government summons airlines over flight disruptions on unruly passengers. Plus, French Prime Minister François Bayrou resigns after losing confidence vote. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more in just a moment. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on the news at 4. First in the news at this time is a report that President Bola Tinubu has reiterated his administration's commitment to transforming Nigeria's health sector, emphasizing the urgent need to address the long-standing challenges that have hindered effective healthcare delivery. According to the President, the government is determined to pursue innovative solutions that will directly tackle the hydra-headed problems confronting the sector, with a special focus on improving the enabling environment for hospitals, clinics, and research institutions. He spoke today at the National Stakeholders Dialogue on Power in the Health Sector, held at the Ladi Kwali Ho Continental Hotel, Abuja. Represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, the President assured Nigerians that his administration is working assiduously to promote sustainable energy solutions to power medical facilities nationwide. Meanwhile, the presidency has dismissed recent comments by former Kogi West Senator Dino Melaye on the country's rising debt profile. In a post via his verified X handle today, the Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu on Media and Public Communication, Sunday Dare, described Melaye's statement as entertainment and not enlightenment. Recall that Melaye, during an interview with newsmen today, mocked the Tinubu administration over its borrowing practices. Melaye had alleged that Nigeria's debt situation was so dire that the government may soon be forced to borrow from local fintech firms if the borrowing trend persists. The former lawmaker questioned the rationale behind recent loan requests, asking why the government was seeking $1.7 billion from the World Bank and pointing to the Senate approval of about $21 billion in external borrowing so far. Moving away from that, the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, said the proposed fuel surcharge is intended to generate a dedicated fund for Nigeria's deteriorating roads, not to add extra strain on households. Oyedele acknowledged public worries that recent tax reforms could worsen inflation, but argued that improved road infrastructure is essential to lowering the cost of moving goods and people. He clarified this while speaking in live broadcast today. Oyedele linked the poor state of roads directly to inflation, noting a yawning gap between rural and urban food prices. Reports say 5% fuel surcharge is one of the taxes under the recently enacted Nigeria Tax Act 2025 and is proposed to take effect in January 2026. In the meantime, The federal government, through the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA), has summoned all domestic airlines to a meeting in Abuja over recent flight disruptions and unruly passenger behavior. In a post via his official X handle today, the Director of Public Relations and Consumer Protection, Michael Achimugu, said the meeting will be held on Wednesday at the NCAA headquarters. Recall that the aviation industry has recently come under intense scrutiny amid incidents of unruly passenger behavior. He disclosed that NCAA would address unruly passenger behavior and passenger handling protocols, unresolved refund and compensation issues, amongst others. From the red chambers, the Senate has turned down Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's request to return to legislative duties, insisting that her 6-month suspension is still in force until the Court of Appeal rules on her case. In a letter signed by the acting clerk to the National Assembly, Dr. Yahaya Danzaria, the Senate acknowledged receiving the senator's notice that she planned to resume on September 4, 2025, which she said marked the end of her suspension. But the Senate pointed out that her suspension started on March 6, 2025, adding that the matter is sub judice since it is already before the Court of Appeal. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, who represents Kogi Central, was suspended in March after the Senate accused her of breaching its standing orders. Now to the Green Chambers. The House of Representatives has clarified reports regarding the discovery of an unidentified body near the National Assembly complex on Sunday. Reports say the body of the deceased was found inside a red Peugeot parked near the annex building gate, close to the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF. The House spokesman, Akim Rotimi Jr., said the clarification follows the official report from the Nigeria Police Force, the lead investigative authority on the case. He added that the House aimed to keep the public accurately informed to prevent speculation. Rotimi, who quoted the Divisional Police Officer DPO of the National Assembly Division that the deceased believed to be a laborer at a construction site within the complex, commended the police for their swift response and assured the public of transparent updates as the investigation progresses. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoeno has announced plans to recruit winners and those who are exceptional in their performances at the sports festival in the state into the upcoming Sports Academy for extensive grooming and adequate exposure. The governor disclosed this while declaring open the sports festival at the Uyo Township Stadium, themed Nurturing Talents, Promoting Tourism. He said the festival was aimed at discovering talent and showcasing the state's potential in the global sports arena. Governor Eno, who was represented by his deputy, Senator Akon Eyarenyi, urged the athletes to put their talent and skills on full display and show the spirit of sportsmanship. The governor, however, attributed lack of modern equipment as one of the major reasons for the inability of the state to win laurels at major national and international sporting events. He said the state government has gone ahead with the purchase of world-class sporting equipment which will help youths to train, compete, and excel at international events. He expressed optimism that with the availability of sporting tools and facilities, there would be a total turnaround as the Akwa Ibom youths would be equipped to compete and conquer the world in various sporting activities. Earlier, in his welcome address, the State Commissioner for Sports, Paul Bassi, said the ministry has a mandate to discover talent and nurture them for the Ibom Sports Academy. He hinted that over 3,000 athletes drawn across the 31 local government areas of the state will be competing in the 18 categories at different locations from Uyo and Eka Township Stadia to Tower of Ivory and Aka Community Secondary Schools. We move now to Africa, where Ivory Coast presidential race took a dramatic turn yesterday as two major opposition figures were officially barred from next month's election. The Constitutional Council announced that former President Laurent Gbagbo and former Credit Suisse CEO Tidjane Thiam are ineligible to run in the October 25th vote. The council cited their removal from the electoral roll as the reason for their exclusion. Thiam, leader of the PDCI, Ivory Coast's largest opposition party, was removed in April due to nationality-related legal issues after acquiring French citizenship, while Gbagbo, head of the African People's Party, Ivory Coast, was excluded because of a past criminal conviction. On the foreign scene, the Israeli military has ordered all residents of Gaza City to evacuate immediately, saying it plans to operate in the area with great force. In a social media post, the IDF urged those present in all its neighborhoods to relocate to a humanitarian zone. This comes after Israel's Security Cabinet last month approved a plan to take control of the enclave's most populous city, a move that has been condemned by leaders worldwide. Still on the foreign scene, French President Emmanuel Macron today accepted the resignation of his Prime Minister François Bayrou after the latter lost a confidence vote he had himself called over his austerity budget. Following the defeat in Parliament Monday, Macron said he would name a new Prime Minister in the next few days. Still to come in the news. Aroko Dare to lead Super Eagles' attack against Bafana Bafana today. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more in a jiffy. Many thanks for staying with us. Welcome back. Now we conclude the rest of our news stories. On our business news, the closed-door meeting organized by the federal government to broker peace between the Nigeria Union of Petroleum Let's go on a very short break to complete the rest of our news stories.
broadening your horizon is what every living being not only genuinely desires, but heartily pursues and intentionally invests in. For in the gathering of men, only those whose minds are in tune with the dynamics of the past, present, and future innovations, inventions, politics, and governance are respected. We are Spectrum Television, and broadening your horizon is our obsession. Risk on your decoder now to connect Spectrum Television on the frequency 12589, symbol rate 26250. That is frequency 12589, symbol rate 26250. Polarization horizontal, and join our online community at spectrumtvlive.ng. For further enquiries, please call 0704 158 5642 or 0704 541 7707. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Sincere apologies for that break in transmission. Now we conclude the rest of our news stories. On our business news, the closed-door meeting organized by the federal government to broker peace between the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers (NUPENG) and the Dangote Group reportedly ended in a deadlock. The meeting was led by the Minister of Labor and Employment, Mohammed Dingyadi, as well as the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Nkiruka Onyejiocha, as part of efforts to resolve the industrial dispute between the two parties to avert the planned industrial action by NUPENG. Present at the meeting were the national executives of NUPENG and officials of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress (TUC). Also present was the Executive Director, Distribution Systems, Storage and Retailing Infrastructure of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA), Ogbugo Ukoha, as well as representatives of the Dangote Group. Recall that NUPENG had last Friday announced that its members would cease work from September 8 in protest against alleged moves by the Dangote refinery to prevent its compressed natural gas (CNG) tanker drivers from joining labor unions. Although both the Petroleum Tanker Drivers and the Direct Trucking Company Drivers Association distanced themselves from the planned action, NUPENG reaffirmed on Sunday that it would proceed with the industrial action. Still talking business, the Director General of the Budget Office, Tanimu Yakubu, has said that the economic strategy of President Bola Tinubu's administration is hinged on foreign exchange reforms, large-scale infrastructure investment, and energy. Yakubu explained that floating the naira and settling outstanding forex liabilities have started rebuilding investor confidence, while infrastructure projects in transportation and energy aim to lower business expenses and connect markets nationwide. He claims that Tinubu's administration had spent more than 5.9 trillion naira on projects in the Northwest, with the benefits felt across the country. The DG maintained that the president, with his vision of a national beltway, the Calabar-Maiduguri-Sokoto arc, work on the Badagry-Lagos Expressway, the Ilela-Sokoto corridor, and the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Superhighway, was building on his predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari's work. In health, medical experts have raised alarm over the growing trend of vitamin and glutathione drips administered in spas, warning that the practice poses serious risk to vital organs, including the liver and kidneys. They cautioned that while the treatment is being promoted as a quick fix for wellness and beauty, it has not proven medical benefits for healthy individuals. According to the physicians, many spas mix cocktails of vitamins and inject them into clients without conducting proper health checks, exposing them to dangers such as allergic reactions, organ damage, and life-threatening infections. Experts further warned that excessive doses of vitamins often given in these drips can overwhelm the body, disrupt organ function, and in some cases lead to multi-organ failure. Still in health, dental have warned of the harmful practice of chewing bones, emphasizing that it causes significant damage to teeth and oral health. They explained that chewing bones could lead to cracked teeth, excessive wear on the tooth surfaces, and increased sensitivity, which can result in long-term dental complications if left unchecked. The dental professionals highlighted that many Nigerians chew bones under the mistaken belief that it strengthens their teeth by providing calcium. They, however, stressed that this practice actually weakens the teeth by wearing down the protective enamel, leaving them vulnerable to decay and pain. We move now to the world of sport, where Wolverhampton Wanderers forward Tolu Arokodare is expected to lead Nigeria's attack in tonight's crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against South Africa. The Super Eagles will be without their talisman Victor Osimhen for the crucial game. Osimhen sustained an injury in Nigeria's Matchday 7 win over Rwanda last Saturday and has returned to Galatasaray for treatment. Arokodare scored the winning goal for Nigeria against the Amavubi. The 24-year-old put up an impressive performance in the game and was named player of the match. In the absence of Osimhen, head coach Eric Chell will rely on him to deliver the goods for the Super Eagles. Arokodare has scored twice in 5 appearances for the Super Eagles. Still in sports, Nottingham Forest have sacked head coach Nuno Espirito Santo. The 51-year-old, who was handed a new contract this summer after guiding Forest to the Europa League, said in August his relationship with co-owner Evangelos Marinakis was not the same and not so good as it was last season. It is believed that no one has yet been lined up as a replacement, but the club are hoping to move swiftly. And now on our entertainment news, veteran Nollywood actor Kanayo O. Kanayo has voiced strong concerns about what he described as the disturbing trends in Nigeria's film industry, especially on YouTube, where casting is now driven more by popularity and appearance than genuine acting ability. Born Anayo Modestus Onyekwere, Kanayo O. Kanayo is regarded as one of Nollywood's most iconic pioneers, having come into the limelight with his role in the 1992 blockbuster Living in Bondage. With more than 3 decades in the industry, he has consistently positioned himself as a defender of talent, quality, and professionalism in filmmaking. In a video message shared on his Instagram page, the seasoned actor announced a shift in his own approach, pledging to concentrate on working with new and under-recognized performers rather than chasing after already popular names. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on all our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Ofonono Joseph. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon.